Hey everyone, I'm Alex, and today we're talking about everything you need to know about e-commerce automation triggers, the secret sauce that will make your life a whole lot easier. You see, most stores set up one automation, usually abandoned cart, and then they call it a day. But MailerLite gives you 6 different triggers built specifically for e-commerce, and each one is targeting a different moment in your customer's journey. By the end of this video, you'll know what each one does, when to use it, and how to set them up. Let's get to it. Before any of these triggers show up in your editor, you need to have your e-commerce store connected to MailerLite. And we have a lot of e-commerce integrations. And for a complete and updated list, check out our integrations page. We've got guides on how to set those up linked in the description. Once your store is connected, head over to Automations, and then click New Automation. Then we're going to hit Start from Scratch. Go ahead and give your automation a name. The first one that we're going to go over is Abandoned Cart. So let's go ahead and enter that one here. But make sure you give it a descriptive name for whatever this automation is going to be used for. All right, and then you'll see the e-commerce triggers section in the left sidebar. One important note before we begin building anything. In order for any e-commerce automation to fire, your customer needs to be a subscriber and have accepted marketing. That's not optional, that is a legal requirement, and we'll talk about what that means in practice as we go along. The first and possibly most common trigger is abandoned cart. This fires when someone adds items to their cart but leaves before they even go to checkout. This is the highest ROI automation that most stores will ever set up. You're reaching people at peak intent. They wanted the thing, they just didn't finish the checkout. So to start, let's drag in the abandoned cart trigger. You'll notice the right sidebar pop up right away. Go ahead and select your shop from the drop down. You can see ours is pre-selected here as Press to Shop, but if you have more than one that you want to connect, go ahead and select whichever one you would like. And then we're going to set the timing. This is how long after abandonment before the first email goes out. 1 to 3 hours is generally a sweet spot. That's enough time for someone to come back on their own, but not so long that the moment's gone. Let's go ahead and set ours over to a couple of hours. And then below that, you'll see which subscribers would be excluded from this trigger. We've got subscribers who've abandoned checkout and subscribers who bought the product. Go ahead and click Save. All right, now we're gonna click the plus icon and we're gonna drag in a send email action. You can go ahead and give your email an internal name, something like abandoned cart email 1. This is just for you. It's not something that your audience is going to see. And then you can fill in the rest of your campaign details. And then to design your email, click Design Email up at the top. You can start from scratch or you can use a template. This is the exact same process as if you were designing a one-off campaign. Let's go ahead and click Start from Scratch for now. The key difference with this type of email is that you want to include the abandoned cart block. We're not going to fully design the email today, but we are going to drop in that block. So let's pretend we went ahead and designed everything. Then you want to drag in the abandoned cart block. So this is what automatically pulls in the exact product or products that the person had in their cart. You can select how many products you would like to show, if they had more or 1 or 2 or 3. Then hit Save. Once you've finished designing your email and you have dragged in the abandoned cart block, hit Done Editing. All right, and then you're back in the workflow builder. And then we're going to add a delay step. You can do 2 or 3 days for the delay. Hit Save. And then we're going to add a second email for follow-up. You can pick how many emails you'd like to have for your abandoned cart sequence. You can do anywhere from like 1, but I wouldn't do any more than 3 emails. For this one, we want the email to be pretty similar to the first email, so we're going to duplicate that one. Then we're going to drag it underneath the delay step. And then make sure you'll want to customize the content so that it is a little bit different than the first email. To do that, you'd go ahead and hit Edit Content. So then you can see we already have the abandoned cart block in here, but then you'd want to add something a little bit different. Then once you're done, again, you'll hit Done Editing. And then for yourself as well with the internal name, the email name, we want to change that one to abandoned cart email 2 so you know which email in the sequence this is. Then go ahead and hit save. And once you've completed editing your automation, you'll want to go ahead and hit activate. The automation needs to be active when the cart is abandoned. If there were abandoned carts before you hit activate on the automation, then it's not going to send to them. Your customer needs to have entered their email address during checkout and accepted marketing before leaving. It should go without saying, if you don't have their email, then there's no way to email them. If you're using double opt-in for your API, subscribers won't trigger this until they confirm. All right, now that it's activated, let's go ahead and check on the automation reporting. So you can click view full report. So right at the top, you'll be able to see 3 statuses. You've got started, in progress, and completed. MailerLite checks the cart status before every email in the sequence, so you're never emailing someone who already bought. Abandoned checkout is similar to abandoned cart, but it fires at a different point. This person made it to checkout, entered their info, and then maybe even got to payment, but then left without completing the purchase. A cart is considered abandoned 30 minutes after they leave. If they move to checkout within that window, then it becomes a checkout event, not a cart event. These 2 triggers work as a sequence in that sense. Cart catches early exits, checkout catches the late ones. A way to think about it is that the abandoned checkout is a warmer lead than abandoned cart. They were closer to buying, and your email can acknowledge that. It's really the same process to get it set up. Once we have created the automation, you'll go ahead and drag in the abandoned checkout trigger, and then you want to, of course, select your store and set your delay. So the timing logic is going to be also pretty similar. You could say 1 to 3 hours is a reasonable starting point. And again, over here, you can see excluded subscribers are going to be anyone who bought the product. Go ahead and hit save. And then your email setup is going to be the same as well. So we're going to go ahead and add send email. Then we're going to fill in the campaign details. Then we're going to go start from scratch. It's really the same process to get it set up. You'd create your automation and then drag in the abandoned cart block to your email. And then it's going to populate with what they left at checkout. Once you're done designing your email, we're going to hit done editing. And then a key difference here from the abandoned cart email, Shopify and BigCommerce users, this is going to be your abandoned flow. Abandoned cart with the abandoned cart trigger is not available on those platforms, so you're going to want to use abandoned checkout instead. Now we're on to the other side of purchase. Buys any product triggers the moment a customer completes any order from your store. This is your post-purchase automation. So think order confirmation follow-up, onboarding sequence for new customers, a thank you email with a cross-sell, or even a review request a few days after delivery. All right, so for the buys any product automation, you're going to go ahead and drag in the buys any product trigger onto the builder. From there, go ahead and select your shop. There isn't going to be a timing delay on the trigger itself. You'll control the timing by using delay steps inside of your workflow. And then from here, you'll just build your automation the same way. So the trigger fires on every completed order. So keep that in mind when you're designing your sequence. You might want to add a condition to only send to first-time buyers if that's the use case. And if you want to see a video about how to get that set up, go ahead and drop a comment below. Same concept as the buys any product trigger, but scoped to one product. This fires when someone buys a particular item that you've selected. And this is how you get specific and targeted with your marketing. Someone bought your beginner course, trigger a sequence that leads them toward the advanced one. Or maybe they bought a product that pairs well with something else. You'll want to follow up with that product recommendation. Alrighty, next is going to be the buys specific product. So let's go ahead and drag that trigger onto the builder. Once again, select your shop, and then you're going to select a specific product from your catalog. And then that's going to be the only additional setting. Go ahead and save it, build out your email steps, and then activate. Buys from category works the same way as buys specific product, but at the category level. Instead of selecting one product, you'd select a category. And anyone who buys anything in that category will trigger the workflow. This is going to be good for stores with different product lines. So if someone buys from your skincare line or your clothing line, your gear category or what have you, you can trigger a category specific follow-up without building a separate automation for every single product. Purchase frequency is probably the most unique trigger out of the 6. Instead of responding to a single event, it fires every time a customer hits a specific order milestone. You set it to trigger on every nth order, so like every 3rd, every 5th, or every 10th. This is your loyalty automation. When someone places their 5th order, they get a reward email. When they hit 10, they can get something else. Let's go ahead and drag the purchase frequency trigger into the builder. And then again, we're going to select the store, set the timing delay, and then set the milestone. So it's going to be trigger after how many orders. This is going to be the purchase interval. So if you set it to 5, then it fires on order 5, 10, 15, and so on. If you want a stopping point, then you can select this order cap button. That'll let you stop triggering when the customer reaches a set number of orders. A couple things to note here. Only completed or paid orders count. So if an order is pending, canceled, or refunded, then that's not going to move their counter. Customers re-enter this automation automatically, and that's by design because it's built for repeat milestones. And if somebody already had purchase history before you activated this automation, it's not going to backfill. Their loyalty purchases start counting from their next qualifying order after you activate the workflow. If you want to add subscribers manually, you can do that from the subscriber view or from the activity hub on the left sidebar. Keep in mind, if you want to do that, you do need to activate the workflow before you're able to add subscribers. And that's all 6 e-commerce triggers in MailerLite. Each one is targeting a specific moment. You set them up once and then they're working for you in the background every single day. If this helped, remember to hit like and subscribe for more of the best content on email marketing. See you in the next one.